Well, folks, after the damage caused by the dogs, I've got to come in here and clean this up. So I haven't put it back in its place yet. So I'm going to find whatever seedlings I've got left. As you can see here, these are beetroot. Just going to put them aside and see how much we can salvage out of this. And then we're going to just top dress it again. Stake this up. Okay, we're just going to tie that down afterwards. Look at this shit. It's just gone everywhere. These spring onions, they're not even a year old. They're really thick. No, I'm not going to take them out. I'm just going to clean them up around the base. They're pretty resilient. If you've got spring onions and they're really bolted like this, folks, well, your best thing is to do is cut them right back down to the ground here, just like that down there. And these will sucker up again. You'll get a second and third harvest and possibly a fourth harvest out of them. But these don't need it. This little cabbage plant has seen better days. Just burying all the foliage in the bottom here there, folks. It's just going to decompose, become carbon for the microbes. But what I want to talk about is see how it's all clumping up. It looks like, you could almost say like horse poo or cow poo, whatever, you know, paddy, well, not quite paddies, but see the little clumps of these? Now the dogs dug this up and it's already clinging on its own together, but it pulls apart so freely. I mean, that's the difference between having active soil with a lot of carbon in there and having clay just on its own with no texture. Because as I break it down, have a look what I find inside here. Little pieces of bark, all different types of things going on. Yeah, see all the texture in there? See, that's little pieces of bark in there as well. So this is really nice. That's what you want. See how the leaf's caught up in there now? That will decompose and it'll start to be digested. It becomes another bit of food source. So that's what we're doing here. Now, I'm not going to turn this over. I'm just sort of leveling it off a bit like that. I'm just going to claim my losses here with the green life that was in here. And I did have beetroot in here and cabbage and God knows what else I planted in here. So all I'm going to do now is just top this up. It's already come back to life. And yes, I'm using our planting mix rather than me going through compost and cocoa and all that, which is what I do at the bottom. So if you're trying to work out how to prepare a new garden bed, the bottom, I put my straw because that breaks down and becomes a food source, and that's where they all travel down. And then on top of that, I put compost and cocoa, 50-50, mix it through, you know, as thick as you like. And then on top of that, I put the planting mix. So the base here, I'm just going to treat it as active, and you can see all the straw has been turned into it, and that's perfect at the end of the day. It's not the way I wanted to actually get to this stage, but it is, you know, what you want to ultimately achieve, having the mulch mixing through your soil. Because it's a texture, it's a process of creating texture and, you know, pockets of carbon and food for the microbes and other critters in there as well. And then on top of that, I'm putting the planting mix, and this is it. This stuff here's got everything in it. You can use it as a top dress if you like. You can use it as a food if you like, because it's got all the nutrients in it. It won't burn your plants, because you can grow straight into it. Sometimes you can put a lot, and other times if you only need a little bit, well, just a light top dress. In this case here, I need to fill in the void in this corner, but by doing this, I create a nice clean finish, hiding all the evidence from the dogs. I think I need a little bit more. Now, I don't pack it down. I never pack my soils down. Even in the pot, I don't. I might tap the pot a little bit when I'm repotting something. The reason for that is I allow nature and the moisture on its own to allow it to compress at its own rate and pace, basically. You don't want, look at that nugget. I love these nuggets. That's why I keep talking about it. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. That's what we want down at the bottom. See, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's got a slightly darker color to it than the actual soil or the planting mix. And the planting mix has got cocoa in there and compost in there as well. But it's got all the other goodness in it too. Oh. Some of you like, I don't know, whatever you like, you got your hobbies. Mine's soil. When I grab this, it's like that nugget, but it's so soft and mushy. It's like Play-Doh, but it's not Play-Doh, it's not clay. Oh, look at that. Hey, we disturbed him. Got a lot of baby worms in here. Oh, see what happens when I try to show you good things? I disturb the life. There we are. Now, what does this need? Well, this needs mulch. And if you all have been following me for a long time, you know that I like to activate my mulch. But I'm going to do this without doing that. And I'm not going to hydrate it because it's super moist underneath. It'll wick upwards the moisture from the base because that's super moist and it's not boggy like, you know, anaerobic. And it's going to go through this, but then I'm going to hydrate this on top. But this mulch has already been breaking down. Have a look. We've got mycelium, and that's your fungi that's breaking down. It's just feeding onto that, and that's the decomposing process of the mulch, and that's what you want to see. You can notice it quite freely when you're looking through your layers of bark or straw and things like that. That's the mycelium. So when you see that in your garden and you turned over your mulch or your bark, don't get discouraged, don't get freaked out or think it's a bad thing. That's actually a bloody good thing. You know, put a mask on if your immune system's a little bit compromised and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's Mother Nature's way of creating food for the life above and, more importantly, below the ground. So that's why in this case here I'm not going to activate it. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, activating is soaking it in a wheelbarrow or a bucket or whatever vessel you have. Could be a large tub. The mulch that is in some moisture that's been added, mixed in with some of our liquid gold and Eco Butch, and that's a biostimulant that actually activates the microbes, the biological life by digesting this and in the soil. It's a way of tricking the life in the soil, well, not tricking it, but yeah, encouraging the life in the soil to come up and start feeding in these areas. Look what I'm throwing in here. Look at all these little butchy boys. Slaters, basically. Let me get some out. There we are. I've got one of them, but there was about a handful in there. They're everywhere. Can you see all this? Earwigs, worms. Look, this was in the mulch. And sitting above ground, no activation, no nothing, just water getting onto it and slowly decomposing. That is what we're talking about, folks. That's why it's so important to mulch your beds. Summer, winter, autumn, it doesn't matter what season it is, obviously, depending on where you live and the climatic conditions you have, how thick or thin you apply it. This is quite thick here, I don't need this much. Keep that there. That's the rest of it. Look at that. With a couple of cuts, I think I've done this within 5 minutes, folks. Just got to tie that up here, like that. Put a bag over the top, stop the winter frost knocking that out. And somebody will come along and say, oh, not a bad bed, you want to fill it in with a few more plants? Yeah, well, I do. I did. Yeah, but Vader and Leia and Kara came along. Who's Leia? Who's Leia? That's Kara. She's a good girl. You want to play? Let's go for a walk. Come on. She knows some teeth. Okay, you're a good girl. Love my dogs, love my animals, love wildlife, folks, and I love my garden. And that's what it's about. Now, if you're watching this as we've uploaded it, well, switch over to 693. I'm on radio again this weekend, folks, with Darren James filling in the second week in a row, so don't freak out. It's yours truly, enjoying it, because I'll be travelling north in the next week for a couple of weeks, so I won't be around to do my normal regular spots. So tune into 693 AM, give us a call if you've got any gardening questions, anything about this, what I've just demonstrated here, or anything else you want us to see if we can help you solve. Otherwise, take advantage of our end of the year financial sale, folks. Lots of great specials online, especially for those in New South Wales and Queensland. We're coming up there once in a lifetime, and it's an opportunity for you to grab the big stuff that otherwise we can't ship up there. So pre-order now, we'll ship it up, yours truly. I'll be there to meet and greet everybody and enjoy. And remember, all our other outlets are also open today. Take advantage, because I think they're doing a little special in-store sale. So pop in and get some great surprises and prizes. And bye-bye. Maresi.